Hi guys, I'm Ashok and welcome back to my YouTube channel Upcycle Maniac. Thank you for the response last week when I launched my YouTube channel. Last week, I also shared with you guys a couple of my creations and thanks for liking them. There were also many of you who suggested that it would be nice if I can share with you the actual steps I go through when I create something. So today I'm actually going to share with you a new project that I just finished. It is what I call a Shou Sugi Ban Trivet. So just relax and enjoy my new video. So I've connected these narrow strips together with a double-sided tape. The reason I'm doing that is that gives me a larger surface area, and basically I'm going to sand this down with my 60 grit built sander and remove all the blemishes on these pieces. And also the other reason for me connecting these together is when I sand them together from both sides, besides the larger surface area for me to sand them, I actually can make sure they are all nice and smooth, flat on both sides, so it's basically reduces the thickness to the same level. So I'm going to sand this and come back with a 60 grit sandpaper. Now here it is, the original strips are all sanded with a 60 grit sandpaper on this. I normally, if I'm going to finish this, I would have gone with a much finer sandpaper with an 80, 120, even 180 up to 220. But for this piece, actually I'm going to try a new technique, finishing technique called, it's a Japanese technique, it's called Shou Sugi Ban. Now I'll put the words here. That is how I'm pronouncing it. Anybody who knows Japanese, please put me in comments and tell me if the pronunciation is right or wrong. But we're going to do Shou Sugi Ban here, and because of that I'm not going to spend much time on getting it smoother than what I have right now. Okay, so now at this point I have these blanks, but as you can see they're still different lengths, so I'm going to cut this blank to a nice same size on my table saw, and I'll be back after I cut it down on my table saw. So I've just cut the blank on both sides. Now we have this piece which is nice and cut on both sides and nice. Now before I separate these out, what I'm going to do is, these edges are very sharp and perfect 90 degrees, but I'm going to put a round over on this so that they're smooth and don't cause splinters or cut. So this is the 1/8 inch round over bit with a bearing that I'm going to use on my router table, and put a nice round over on all sides of this board. Right now it has sharp edges. I'll show you when I put a round over how nice it looks. That was pretty quick, and as you can see, it's the edges, maybe you can see this here, the edges are nice and rounded now, and they won't cut the hand anymore, and they look all nice, as you can see here. So now, before we split the blank again in these 4 pieces as they are, we're going to try the Shou Sugi Ban finish on this. So let's go and try to use the torch to make the Shou Sugi Ban pattern on this. So now that we have charred this board fairly well on all sides, I'm going to take a steel brush and go and rub the areas to clean some of the surface charring. So here we go. I'm not sure if this is coming on the video or not, but basically as I rub, all the surface burn is coming off, and this is a long job, so I don't want you guys to get bored through the video. So what I'm going to do is basically a simple task of taking a wire brush and cleaning up all the surfaces on all sides, and then once I'm clean, I'll come and show you how it looks. So after all the surfaces have been cleaned with that wire brush, look at how beautiful it looks. Basically the natural pattern in the wood is actually highlighted. I think this looks better now, right? On all the sides you can see the beauty in the wood, and even the end grains show up beautifully, right, on this side, and looks nice. Now once we, this is still rough, but once we put a polyurethane coat on this, this will in fact actually shine and look even more beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is, there are 4 pieces, that is what we began with. Now my plan is to actually separate them out and drill cross holes into these. So the middle 2 pieces will get through holes, and the other 2 end pieces will actually get blind holes. And I'm going to put a 5/16 inch dowel through them at distance. Maybe I'll make 6 holes. Let's see how many it looks good. So it will actually look good maybe if I put 6 of them. One thing you definitely want to do is make sure that you drill the holes perfectly straight, otherwise this dowel will not go through. Okay, so I'm going to separate these 2 pieces together, these 2 pieces together, so the holes will align at least in these easily, and then I have to still align the holes between these things to make sure they're all aligned and straight. Okay, so now all the holes in all these pieces are done. As you can see, the middle ones have holes going through these 2 pieces, and the side pieces have blind holes, so they make through here but they don't come across. And the same thing about this piece, they have matching hole here but they don't penetrate across here. So we're all done with these holes. Now I'm going to take these 1/4 inch dowels. Now I'm going to cut them to size and put them through. So I'll be back. I'll have marked the dowels here You can see measured it and marked it. I'm just going to go to my saw, and I'm going to make these quick cuts and come back. One tip is, I'm just to make sure that the distance is identical between these, I'm just using some, as usual, scrap pieces of plywood. I know this is exactly 3/4 of an inch, or 19 millimeter to be precise, and I'm just using them to set the distance to make sure, like this. Oops, doing it with one hand is a pain, but you got the idea. I'm just putting these pieces of 3/4 inch plywood in between to make sure my spacing is on the dot for all of them, like that. Okay, so the dry fit is done. Now the next step is glue them together, and I'll let it dry overnight today, and then tomorrow we'll just put 2 coats or 1 coat of polyurethane on both sides, and I think we'll have a simple trivet done from those scrap pieces that were just lying around. All right, so as you can see, I have glued up everything with the spacers in between to make sure the distance is all perfect, and added a couple of clamps. They're not really necessary, but it doesn't harm. I'm going to keep it clamped overnight, and tomorrow morning it's all done. Just remove the clamp and put some polyurethane, and we are good to go. Okay, good morning guys. I took out the clamps. It's all glued up and ready to get its first coat of polyurethane. So after first coat of polyurethane, you can see already it is shining. I'll put a couple of more coats of polyurethane on this, but you can see how beautiful it's looking. So guys, if you did enjoy the video on this Shou Sugi Ban Trivet as much as I enjoyed making it, then please click that like button, and also if you would like to see more videos, then don't forget to click on the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon. Okay, thank you. And if you have not seen some of my earlier videos, then the links should be appearing here. I have 2 more videos that you can check out. And again, Dhanyawaad and thank you.